Chapter 4. Turning Pain into Purpose. There's a dangerous moment after loss, the one where the world doesn't collapse anymore, but it doesn't feel real either. Life keeps moving. Cars pass, bills come due, people laugh, and you're standing there thinking, how is everything still going when I'm barely holding myself together? That's where I was, not shattered, not healed, just suspended. Looking back now, I can see it clearly. This was the moment my life quietly split in two. One path led back to the familiar numbing, running, disappearing. The other led somewhere unknown, uncomfortable, and demanding. I didn't choose it all at once. I chose it in fragments. One decision not to quit. One morning I showed up anyway. One night I sat with the pain instead of drowning it. At the time, it didn't feel like strength. It felt like survival. What I didn't realize was that survival was already becoming something more, and hovering over all of it, like a voice that refused to fade, was my mother's. You and your brother need to grow up and make something of yourselves. At first, those words felt heavy. Later, they felt prophetic. I didn't know it yet, but that sentence was going to follow me into every chapter that came next. The shift I started with work, not because I loved it, but because it gave structure to the chaos inside me. I showed up early, stayed late, did things right even when no one was watching. It sounds small. It wasn't. It was the first time in a long time I trusted myself to be consistent. Each day I kept my word. To my job, to myself, something unfamiliar began forming. Pride, not the loud kind. The quiet kind that says, maybe I'm not as broken as I thought. Slowly, almost without noticing, I began letting go of the old version of me. The one who chased numbness and called it freedom. The one who confused distraction with healing. I wasn't rebuilding my life yet. I was rebuilding my character. And character, I would later learn, determines how much weight you can carry when life adds more. Learning to forgive. Forgiveness showed up quietly and resisted me every step of the way. I thought forgiveness was something you gave other people. I was wrong. Forgiving my father for the drinking meant releasing questions that would never have answers. Forgiving my first love meant accepting that pain doesn't always come from malice. Forgiving the man who killed my friend meant confronting rage I didn't know how to hold. And forgiving the man who took my mother, that nearly tore me apart. But I began to see the truth. Hate didn't keep me safe. It kept me trapped. Forgiveness didn't excuse what happened. It reclaimed my future from it. And when I finally let go, even just a little, I felt lighter than I had in years. Not weak, free. Finding faith. Again. I didn't return to faith with confidence. I returned with questions. I talked to God the way you talk to someone you're not sure is listening anymore. Why did you take them? Why was I spared? What am I supposed to do with all this? Most nights, the answer was silence, but something strange happened in that silence. It stopped feeling empty. I began to sense that my losses weren't punishment. They were preparation. Each one had carved something into me. Empathy, resilience, awareness, the kind you don't learn from comfort. Storms had shaped me. And storms, I would later realize, always shape people for impact. A new mission. One night, sitting alone, I looked around my life, the scars, the survival, the fact that I was still standing, and a thought hit me harder than any loss ever had. This can't be for nothing. I started noticing people around me differently. The quiet ones, the angry ones, the ones numbing themselves the same way I once had. I recognized their eyes. I knew that look. And for the first time, it occurred to me, what if everything I survived wasn't meant to end with me? What if my pain was a language and someone else desperately needed to hear it spoken? That question didn't scare me. It followed me. The hard way home. I stopped seeing myself as a victim of my story and started seeing myself as responsible for what came next. That shift changed everything. I spoke differently, moved differently, chose differently. The road forward wasn't clean or easy. It was filled with doubt, setbacks, and nights where quitting whispered louder than hope. But every step, every wrong turn included, was leading me somewhere I didn't yet understand. Home. Because unbreakable doesn't mean untouched. It means tested, repeatedly, and still choosing to stand. I didn't know it yet, but the moment I stopped running from my pain, it started calling me outward, toward people, toward purpose, toward a responsibility I wasn't sure I was ready for. I thought healing was the end of the story. I was wrong. It was the beginning. And the next chapter would demand more from me than survival ever did.